Congresswoman, you wrote a letter to President Biden dated April 17th, and in that letter you said, "Today I write to you concerning the tax increases your administration and congressional allies are proposing. I was elected to protect the livelihoods of thousands of middle-class Michiganders from your destructive economic policies." And then you go on in the letter, and this goes in concert with a press conference that you had with Michigan farmers, and so you brought it right home. You have great concern that those policies may destroy the family-owned farms here in the state of Michigan, which is a big agricultural state.
Absolutely. And I am gravely concerned. I think when we put policies together, at times we don't think of the unintended consequences. And the consequences of this proposal that the Biden administration is doing will completely dismantle and crush the family farm. And with only 2% of the labor force actually farming, my question is, if we dismantle this family farm, who's going to feed not only us, but the world? So it is a very, very bad idea for farmers, and we really need to rethink the policy. And we still have time to do so. And my hope is that we just didn't think the policy through with the unintended consequences it would have to the farmers. And the people in my district are farming. It's agriculture. And with the repeal of the step-up in basis and the expanding of the death tax, it will put an end to all of those family farms, or I shouldn't say all, that's an exaggeration, but a majority of those family farms. They have been in place for multi-generations. This is going to destroy it.
Have you had any reaction? I know it's early yet, you just wrote the letter. Any reaction from the Biden administration, an administration that said it wants to work across the political aisle in a bipartisan fashion?
I have not personally heard anything yet, but as you know, things don't exactly move quickly here in DC. My hope is that we'll get some bipartisan support on this. And like I said in the press conference, and I'll say it again, I'm happy to work across the aisle to come up with solutions on how to pay for a lot of these bills and a lot of these initiatives. It's just, this is not the answer. This is not the solution on how to do it. It will crush the family farm.
Let me shift to another area of concern across the nation, but also here in Michigan. The last time I checked, the Society of Engineers gave Michigan a D+ rating in terms of its infrastructure. President Biden has made that one of his major initiatives. From your perch there in Washington, I realize you've only been there about 100 days or so. Is this an issue that you think can receive bipartisan support?
There's no question that we as a country, and especially in Michigan, have a crumbling infrastructure. The issue is we have to take a look at the guts and the body of the bill. We can't just take a look at the title. And if we're going to have an infrastructure bill, then it needs to deal with infrastructure. So let me just give you a flavor for what it is. Less than 11% is actually going to go to infrastructure, roads and bridges. To me, if we're going to do an infrastructure bill, let's do an infrastructure bill. Let's not pack it with a bunch of pork that has nothing to do with infrastructure. I mean, think about it for a minute. We're going to spend more on electric vehicles than we are going to spend on roads, bridges, and broadband.
So your concern is...
That's not an infrastructure bill.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Your concern is that under the Biden administration proposal that we've expanded the definition of infrastructure beyond what we traditionally have called infrastructure.
I would say that's a really nice way to put it. I think expanding is understated. Everything under the sun now is labeled as infrastructure. Medicare is labeled as infrastructure. Childcare is labeled as infrastructure. I mean, where does it end? To me, let's get back to the basics. And again, let's deal with the issues of roads and bridges and broadband. I really don't understand how 11% of the bill can focus on infrastructure. And I'm not saying that those other things aren't important, but let's not hide them in an infrastructure bill. But we have to get back to the true meaning of the word, and we need to stop, excuse me, but bastardizing the terms. Words have meanings, and we need to stick to those meanings.